안녕하세요. I'm Korean Uncle. 저는 코리안 엉클입니다. In today's lesson, we will learn various greetings, and I will introduce myself. We will learn various greetings, expressions. We learned how to say hello when you meet someone. 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까? 안녕? Do you remember all these expressions? In this class, we will learn expressions such as say goodbye and expressions of gratitude. As you can see, there are many things that are different in structure and meaning between English and Korean. So, please listen to my explanation and you think carefully about when these expressions can be used. The one on the left are common expressions. Goodbye can be expressed as 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요. And 안녕히 가세요. 안녕히 가세요. In Korean, 안녕히 계세요 is used when you leave your place and someone else stays there. 안녕히 가세요 is used when you stay your place and when someone else has left. Thank you can be expressed as 감사합니다. 감사합니다. And 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다. In Korean, 감사합니다 is a common expression and 고맙습니다 is a more polite expression than 감사합니다. However, Koreans don't use them separately. See you again is 다시 만납시다. 다시 만납시다. And 또 만납시다. 또 만납시다. In Korean, these sentences mean looking forward to seeing you again next time. The picture on the right is an expression for someone younger than you or your friend. Bye can be expressed as 안녕 and 잘가. In Korean, 안녕 is what you do when you meet someone, and it can also be used when you leave someone. But 잘가 is only used when you leave someone. Thanks can be expressed as 고맙다, 고맙다, and 고마워. In Korean, especially when I use it a lot, when I receive a gift or when my friend did my request. See you can be expressed as 다시 만나자, 다시 만나자, and 또 만나자, 또 만나자. In Korean, there are many more expressions. I will introduce more variety in the intermediate level. In Korean, you can choose words according to who you are talking to. The best way is to get used to it in real life, and when you watch a Korean drama, it's good to practice by becoming a character yourself. Let's move in the next one. Next, I will introduce myself in Korean. Listen carefully. I will read it slowly. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Or 안녕하십니까? 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 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 제 이름은 최재이예요. 최재이예요. 제 이름은 최재이예요. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 한국 사람이에요. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. I will repeat again at a normal speed. 안녕하세요. or 안녕하십니까? 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 제 이름은 최재희예요. 제 이름은 최재희예요. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. I introduce myself. So, what do these sentences mean? 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까? In English, it is hello. 만나서 반갑습니다. Its meaning is nice to meet you. 제 이름은 최재희예요. In English, my name is J.Choi. 저는 한국 사람이에요. In English, I'm Korean. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. In English, I'm a Korean teacher. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. Then, I will explain my self-introduction in detail. When you say hello, we can use 안녕하세요 or 안녕하십니까. 안녕하세요 has 5 syllables and 안녕하십니까 has 6 syllables. 안녕하세요 is a polite expression and Korean people generally use it a lot. When you meet someone for the first time, we use the phrase 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다 has 8 syllables. This is a general expression. This is to express that I am happy to meet you. We learned about syllables in Unit 7. Korean is made of syllables and each syllable is pronounced separately. If you can't remember, it will be helpful if you come to Unit 7 class. 제 이름은 최재희예요. 제 is my in English. 이름 is name in English. What is 은? 은 is the subject marker and can be used attached to the subject. 최 is a family name. 제이 is the first name. 예요 is a predicate marker and it is used to attach the predicate. Let's look at this sentence again in detail. 제 is a combination of the Korean words 저 and 의. These are abbreviated as 제. 이름 is a noun. 은, 는, 이, 가 is a subject marker. It is used in one of four depending on the form of the noun in front of it. We use the word 이름 by adding 은 to it because there is a final consonant called 미음. However, we use the word 저 by adding 는 because 저 doesn't have a final consonant. So, let's look at the next sentence. 최재이 is a name and a noun. 예요 is a predicate marker. It is used differently depending on the form of the noun in front of it. We should use the word 최재이 by adding 예요 because E has not a final consonant. However, we should use the word RM by adding 이에요 to it because RM has a final consonant 미음. How about studying Korean? Isn't that really scientific? It can be a little difficult at first, so practice a lot and try to get used to it. We can talk about our nationality. Then I will say my nationality in Korean. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 저는 한국 사람이에요. 저 is the English I. 는 can be used attached to the subject as a subject marker. 한국 is Korean in English. 사람 is the English word for people. 한국 사람 is sometimes said to be Korean in English. 이에요 is a predicate marker and it is used to attach the predicate. So, let's look at the important part of this sentence. We should use the word 저 by adding 는 to it because 저 doesn't have a final consonant. However, we should use the word 사람 with 은 attached to it because there is a final consonant of 미음 in the word 사람. So, what is my job in Korean? 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. 저 is the English I. 는 can be used attached to the subject as a subject marker. 한국 is Korean in English. is a language in English. 한국어 is sometimes spoken as Korean or Korean language in English. 선생님 is the English word for teacher. 이에요 is a predicate marker and it is used attached to a predicate. So, let's look at the important part of this sentence. The word 선생님 is used by adding 이에요 because the word 선생님 has the final consonant 미음. For example, the word 가수 is used by adding 예요 because 가수 doesn't have a final consonant. Then you will know how to use 있는 in the subject and how to use 이에요, 예요 in the predicate, right? Okay, good. How was it? It's easy. This is the end of the class. In the next class, we will study how to introduce ourselves. Please look forward to it. Now, we will say goodbye in Korean. 감사합니다. 우리 또 만납시다. 안녕히 계세요. Bye.
And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain.